whatsoever with dealing with them. And here we are just finishing off the area before going down, because we want to make sure it's safe. You don't want to come up and then get ambushed by a giant army of guys while we're trying to rest because we're already weak. There's the algal maggot, which will explode into a bunch of the corrosive acid when it dies. Very annoying. Not very deadly, but it can destroy items. So if you're fighting multiple guys and that's one of the guys, you might want to kill it first. Here's a mimic. That looks like a filtrate wall right over right where here was. I try to attack it before it gets to me and light it on fire, but it does not get caught in fire. Now I'm just fighting it. The one thing about mimics is they get to grab on you. They have lots of HP and they're very tough. But luckily I'm able to deal with it without really needing any healing or anything. Probably at least partly due to the items I have. So I try to get the mimic corpse and show you that it gives you a special consumption message, but I don't know what happens with that. I can't do it. Here's the CommentLurker, the thing that I just barely was over, that I was talking about earlier, that always has random mutant abilities. Here, the two T's. I thought this guy was a fire thrower, but he's just a bloody berserker. Here's the berserker, the natural yellow color. Here's a glitch, weird glitch. My guy used the fire attack. Sadly, we're not going to be able to fight against the CommentLurker or the Troll Berserker, because when we go down we're going to discover that a glitch caused the map to change. Thaw Zone exception. I'll explain those guys quickly. The CommentLurker, the Esper that was in some blue color or something. I'm just making sure it's not a mimic. Always check the chest to me if there are mimics. The Esper that I'm trying to talk about and completely failing to always has random mutant abilities that you can have. And we'll see later on some of the weird effects that can come from that. The Troll Berserker is much more dangerous than the regular Elfin Troll, because it can trip you up and make you not able to move. I've tried teleporting when that happened. Ulnar Stimulators, those are really good. I do a little victory dance if you see. And I equip them over instead of my Steel Gauntlets. Those are going to give us +1 agility and +1 strength. The agility is going to come in handy later on when we get a long-range weapon, which... up here is the Fire Thrower, the most dangerous of the trolls. It will shoot fire at you. I pour 1 dram of fresh water on ourselves to get rid of that. And then I decided to get revenge on the fire user by lighting him on fire, but then we're lit on fire, sadly. Those things deal tons of damage. We beat at the flame, just wanted to show you. I moved the mouse during the recording over that. If you press the 5 button while you're on fire, you will try to beat the flames out. If you move while you're on fire, that won't happen. We just killed a cloneling. I'll explain those guys later. The regular trolls, the brown ones, are not really a threat at all. I think they can deal a good amount of damage. They have very heavy, bad weapon that I might be picking up and showing you a little bit, about. Very heavy, weighs like 30 pounds or 20 pounds or something like that. Something like 40 pounds. And I would definitely not suggest using that weapon unless you want to be carrying it around a terribly heavy and useless weapon. Here are just the first instance of just having tons of regular enemies that aren't twinning lampreys. I think those are thanks to the clonelings. I see the chest and I don't want to ruin it with the fire, but I decide I probably already looted it. I don't really care, so I just light it on fire anyways, trying to get rid of as many of these guys as I can before having to retreat. So I want to do this relatively quickly. So, of course, you can't use electric generation on these guys very effectively because they are electric. So here I'm trying to kill that Q, and I actually had to use phasing, trying to avoid using the Witchwood Bark, trying to use all my mutation abilities to not do that, but I eventually do need to use it. Notice how I still have that Mimic Corpse. I don't know what happens later on, but it seems to disappear. Maybe my character auto-eats it. Here we get Cryokinesis. I was actually hoping for another ability like Disintegration, but Cryokinesis is very good too, and it's, although I prefer Pyrokinesis, it'll be very useful in helping us when we already used Pyrokinesis and we can't use Pyrokinesis again. It's like having a second but not as nice Pyrokinesis. Cryokinesis in its own right does have its own special benefits that Pyrokinesis just doesn't have access to, but I still would not suggest using Cryokinesis over Pyrokinesis unless you are incredibly powerful and can deal more damage than something lit on fire for an entire battle will deal to it. So here's the cloneling. The cloneling is cloning all these guys. Only the real one is going to give us any experience. See how he died? I used my mouse to show you. We didn't get an experience when he died. They're just going to clone tons and tons of enemies. And at least that's what I think they do. And they do try to run away. They don't try to battle you. Similar to the cave spiders, they try to avoid combat. I don't know if it's always good to go after them, because I'm not exactly sure how their cloning works. But I do try to go after them a bit, especially when it comes to when they try to clone these very powerful guys like the quillipeds. The trolls aren't such a big deal, so again I'm using phasings to avoid dying or needing to heal. And I think we already defeated the cloneling. The cloneling was probably responsible for the tons of yellow Qs, the electric snails we ran into. I don't think we run into any acid-spitting snails, but they are in this game. Here, I stupidly used precognition when I didn't need to, because I already got all the mutation abilities, so I decided I may as well show off what happens when you phase through a wall and get out of phase mode while still deep in the wall. It said we sensed our imminent demise. That's because we were going to die. I'm getting a little bit behind on what's going on. I should not be doing that. Here I'm just exploring around, trying to make sure that there are no hidden enemies that are getting up on me. And here I get confused and annoyed by these guys. The novice to the sightless way, the disciples of the sightless way, there's all sorts of, I don't know exactly what they are. I suspect they might also be able to come up with random mutant abilities. Before I thought they were that the psychomonas always had time dilation, chill, and time-space vortex. You could just tell what a terrible combination that would be. Time dilation makes it so that, and we'll actually see one of the enemies use it, everything around you slows down. I think it affects you more if you're closer to the thing. Here, I'm trying to get rid of that 4, but some guys get in the way as the 4 switches spots with a troll. That's what I think is what happens. And the chill ability actually freezes your character, and chill is actually cryokinesis. It's listed as chill. Technically, right now we have chill. When they use cryokinesis on you and you're frozen, you can't run away from the time-space vortex that will be trying to destroy you. So here, I think I try to possess this guy. No, I do not try to possess him, but I do light him on fire, forgetting that there's water here. And steam develops, and luckily the steam is not as strong as it was in previous versions of the game, where it have dealt over 30 damage and other ridiculous things. So I think now I actually think of the idea of possessing the guy. No, I don't. I freeze him and try to kill him. Come on. Now we're frozen from our own cryokinesis. That's just wonderful. We are very intelligent. At least I am. So eventually I am going to decide to... Oh, here I want them to actually use the abilities themselves, but they're not using it. I want to show you off the time-space vortex, and I'm thinking at this point their Esperas are hard to possess. I look at them, they have this one has psychometry, chill, and force wall. So it definitely does not have any of the special abilities. I try to use his ability, but the game glitches up, and you'll see an error message pop up soon. I have to exit out that. And I finally do break the domination. A lot of the enemy mutant abilities seem to do that when you try to use them. When you try to use their abilities, an error message pops up. But luckily, none of the error messages seem to crash the game throughout this entire little run session. So here are just tons of Z's, thanks to that one cloneling. And we're actually going to put this point into agility once I decide to do that. There I go. And now, sadly, there are some enemies blocking the stairway. Not a good thing. I decided to light all this stuff on fire, destroying a piece of scrap, sadly. But now I need to use phasing. I do successfully destroy the one threat in the room, the quilliped, before I leave, I think. No, I do not. I do have to heal. Maybe. No, I succeed in killing that guy. Very risky. Another reason why I'm doing this post-commentary. This place is very dangerous, very scary, not to be taken lightly like the other dungeons are, and I just don't have very much practice with them, so it's very good to be able to concentrate on the game. So here, this guy has Confusion, Burgeoning, and I didn't see what the other one was. I think it's Mental Mirror. I could explain Mental Mirror later, maybe, but it doesn't seem that useful. Here, if you're confused, possess someone, and then break the possession, you go back to your character, and Confusion doesn't work anymore on your character.